transfer, and I'm a proud member of the graduating class of 2021.
My name is Victor Song, and I'm a proud member of the graduating class of 2021. Thank you for joining us this evening. Please remember that everyone in attendance must wear their mask for the duration of the ceremony. Your cooperation and understanding are greatly appreciated. At this time, we ask that all audience members to please take out your cell phones and turn them off or change the ringtone to vibrate so we don't have any unnecessary distractions or disturbances during this evening's ceremony. Thank you.
Commencement is traditionally a solemn ceremony that is distinguished by everyone appreciating and respecting the accomplishments of the graduates by conducting yourselves appropriately throughout this evening's event. As we honor each graduate, we ask that you do not disrupt or disrespect our graduation ceremony by attempting to draw attention to yourself. This ceremony is not about you. This ceremony is about us celebrating our graduation from R. Nelson Snider High School. So please, honor and respect us for what we have accomplished by giving us the respect and courtesy that we have requested and that we deserve. Also, as we are honoring each of the graduates with the presentation of his or her diploma, we ask that your applause be held until all graduates have received their diplomas.
Each and every graduate and family have worked incredibly hard to be here this evening. And as a result, each family has earned the privilege of hearing their son's or daughter's name read. We will save our cheers until the very end of the program. From now until the conclusion of the ceremony, please remain in your seats. At the conclusion of the ceremony, please remain in your seats until all of the graduates have exited the arena. Thank you for respecting the wishes and rights of all of our graduates and all of our families this evening. We appreciate you choosing to join us for this monumental occasion.
Good evening. Fort Wayne Community Schools Superintendent Dr. Mark Daniel and I, Chad Hissong, as principal of R. Nelson Snider High School, do hereby certify that all of the members of the class of 2021 about to be presented to you this evening have met the graduation requirements set forth by the state of Indiana and Fort Wayne Community School Board of Trustees and should therefore be granted a diploma. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my privilege to now present to you the 55th graduating class of R. Nelson Snider High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Liu, and I'm a proud member of the graduating class of 2021. It is my privilege to introduce to you our soloist performing the national anthem. Please welcome graduating senior Audrey Smith. At this time, please stand. Gentlemen, please remove your hats as Ms. Smith performs our national anthem.
So proudly we may be seated. Graduates, you may place your caps back on your heads. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Trevor McKinnon. It is my privilege and honor to introduce the principal of Snider High School. Ladies and gentlemen, and classmates, please welcome Mr. Chad Hissong.
Feels like it's been a long day, ladies and gentlemen. We just got started. Wow. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 commencement ceremony. First, let me begin by thanking the parents of our seniors for sharing your sons and daughters with us the last 4 years. If you are a parent of one of our graduating seniors this evening, please stand. Before you, at this moment, you are beginning to realize the results of your hard work and dedication. Today we celebrate the culmination of the last 17 to 19 years of your work. At this time, graduates of the class of 2021, please thank your parents for being here for you in the past, as well as for being here with you today. Now. Parents, if you are not satisfied with that thank you after the ceremony, I assume you'll handle it appropriately. What in the world? We rehearsed that. I can only say, wow. This is the absolute best day of the school year because I actually get to be in the same room as all of you for the second time this school year. I'm incredibly happy that we have this opportunity to celebrate your graduation together in the same arena, and you are not just driving past me in the parking lot at Snider High School and picking up your diploma from me. The class of 2021 will be legendary for their resiliency. I can assure you that no other class that has ever graduated from Snider High School has endured what you have endured. Now, your parents will try to convince you that they have survived the great blizzard of 1978 that buried the entire city of Fort Wayne in several feet of snow. That absolutely does not compare. You see, the snow came down, the snow melted. When the snow melted, everyone resumed their normal lives. Then they'll try to convince you that they also survived the great floods of 1982, the floods that almost washed the entire city of Fort Wayne off the map, the flood where the entire city rallied to fill sandbags to shore up levees to stop the water from rising and flooding even more streets and homes. Sorry, that doesn't compare. See, the water came and the water receded, and everyone went back to living their normal lives. Of course, you have no recollection of either of these events, except possibly what your parents may have shared with you from their personal experiences. But your parents do remember how it impacted their lives. But still, no matter how life-altering or life-changing these events were, they still will never compare to the pandemic. You see, each of those events impacted families maybe a month. The pandemic has impacted your life for a year and a half. For a year and a half, you've had to do school completely differently. There were days when you were completely zoomed out. There were days when, for the first time in your lives, you really did not want to be online or ever use a laptop again. There were days when you could not take it anymore, and so you just stopped and cried. There were days when you thought, is this really worth it? Well, guess what? It was. The best part of this school year is you sitting in front of me today, your parents sitting in the stands. This is phenomenal evidence of the level of resiliency in each and every one of you. Regardless of the circumstances, the adversity, the obstacles, the challenges, you have already shown that you are fearless, that you're courageous, you're determined, and most of all, successful. Others will try to talk the talk, others will try to walk the walk. But the class of 2021, you are the only class that can wear the pandemic badge of courage and look in the mirror and smile. I always like to smile at myself when I'm looking in the mirror, so that's why I said smile. It'll make you feel better, and then say to yourself, I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter, and now I am a Snider graduate. Your story does not end here today. There is still much left to be written. Don't look back. Focus on your future. The diploma that you are receiving today is your ticket to the world. Only you can control how you use that ticket. Your potential is unlimited. I have no doubt that once you decide what it is that you want to do, you will exceed everyone's expectations of you. The one thing that I do want you to remember as you continue to write the new chapters of your life is that regardless of where your travels take you, wherever your success lands you, you will still be Snider High School Panthers. Congratulations, graduates, and thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frederick Henderson, and I am a proud member of the graduating class of 2021. It is indeed an honor and my pleasure to introduce you to the Superintendent of Fort Wayne Community Schools, Dr. Mark Daniel.
Like Mr. Hissong said, to see your faces. Did we think we'd be here in January, February, March even? Man, it's good to see faces. So let's truly appreciate this moment. And as we see our lives return to the new normal, that we remember these days, what it meant to be in isolation at times, what it really means to come together, and how that can be such a glorious time. So graduates, congratulations on making it to this day. You experienced and learned much since entering kindergarten in the fall of 2008. While the past year has been particularly challenging, the lessons you have learned and persistence you have shown to reach this point demonstrate that you are ready to move on to the next phase of your lives. Whether you're heading to college, enlisting in the military, starting your career, or taking time off to find your path in life, I hope you're leaving Snider High School with these critical success skills. We call them the 6 C's. Now, some people would call these soft skills. No, these are success skills. And you've been living these for 6 years, 5 years, 4 years. This year, truly, they have meant something special. So let's start off with the first C, character. Having a strong character is demonstrated by being responsible, having integrity, and being resilient. Class of 21, you've shown resilience like no other, and you have clearly learned that persistence pays off. Citizenship. As graduates of Fort Wayne Community Schools, you have had the unique opportunity to learn with and learn from students of different races, ethnicities, family structures, different socioeconomic backgrounds, and let's go on and on. That experience, whether you realize it now or not, helps you to think like a global citizen, to have compassion for others, and to better understand the complexities of a diverse world. Collaboration. Throughout your years in school, you have had many opportunities to work independently and to work with your teachers and peers. Some of those experiences have been absolutely awesome, and some not so much. But even in those times when you have struggled with others on your team, you have learned important negotiation and management skills that you will use in a future career. Communication. This one's self-explanatory. If you can't communicate effectively, you will struggle. We all continue to work on this one our entire lives as our language transforms and the tools we use to communicate change. Creativity. I used to think that's only for artists. They're the ones who are creative. But what we have found is creativity is needed in every discipline to ask the right questions, pursue new ideas, and be willing to fail. A creative mind can take what is learned in a failed attempt and apply it to a second, more successful attempt. And finally, critical thinking. A key change in education today is moving away from memorization and toward problem solving. You have unlimited knowledge at your fingertips, but you need to know how to evaluate that information and use it to solve problems. We have robots, we have computers that can do many things for us, but only human brains can take that knowledge and make it meaningful. Character, citizenship, collaboration, communication, creativity, critical thinking. As you go off to your next adventure, think about how you can hone these skills for your own success and the success of your community. And wherever you go, I hope you return to Fort Wayne with your 6 C's intact and enthusiasm to continue moving our great city forward. Thank you, and again, congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Emma Hedrick, and I'm a proud member of the graduating class of 2021. It is my privilege to introduce the Salutatorian of Snider High School. Ladies, gentlemen, and classmates, please welcome Emerson Corbin.
Good evening, class of 2021. Teachers, staff, school board, family, and friends who support us along the way, especially through this past year. We did it. We are here to celebrate a senior year like no other. Many of us face many obstacles when attending class from home, such as forgetting to unmute the microphone when speaking, the extremely awkward breakout rooms that nobody spoke in, and putting up with parents who are also working from home and decide the perfect time to vacuum outside your room is in the middle of a calculus test. Now, there were some benefits too, such as sleeping in until 5 minutes before class and still being on time, getting to wear pajamas all day, and the luxury of using our own bathrooms with actual rolls of toilet paper. Although this year had many downfalls and hardships for everyone, it also taught us valuable lessons, such as not taking time for granted, and that plans can change, but it's not the end of the world. My mom shared the quote, "Your life is made of 2 dates and a dash. Make the most of the dash," with me earlier this year. And like many of you might be thinking what I originally thought when I first heard it, that's morbid. But it really represents the idea that the future isn't everything. It's the present that we must cherish. Time is too precious for it to be spent planning for what may never come. For many times in life, we find what we need at unexpected times, such as a speech, which was written at 12:24 a.m. on the Thursday night before prom. This year in Biomed, we were given the assignment to read the book When Breath Becomes Air and make a playlist for it. Originally, I was not looking forward to the assignment because I didn't like reading, and that's why you take literature. But it truly turned into such a rewarding experience. Towards the end of the book, Paul Kalanithi said, "You can't ever reach perfection, but you can believe in an asymptote towards which you are ceaselessly striving." Paul reminds us that we can get close to perfection, but it does not come with sacrifice. Many of those sacrifices and the valuable time you have puts a limit on the truly memorable moments you get to experience. As I have stated previously, this year has been crazy and difficult. Many of us may have had a negative outlook this year, spending time dwelling on what could have been. But I think we can all agree on one thing. We will never take another single moment, hug, conversation, or get together for granted again. This could potentially be the most important thing we learned this whole year. This lesson has changed my outlook on life and how I want to spend my time, and hopefully others will follow suit. This year has pushed all of us, but especially students, to stay determined and continue to persevere through the rough patches. We will go on to college prepared for the rigorous coursework, as we have had to exemplify great discipline to stay off of TikTok and our phones in general and focus on class. Even if the next stop is not college, we are all moving to the next part of our lives, more prepared to take on the unexpected than anyone who has come before us. We will make the most of every opportunity to grow as individuals and make time for each other. So no matter what unknowns we face in our future, don't stress about the challenge, but embrace its lessons and gifts. Thank you for all the great memories, and congratulations, class of 2021. You've earned it.
Good evening. My name is Emma Rohrbacher, and I'm a proud member of the graduating class of 2021. It is my privilege to introduce the Valedictorian of Snider High School. Ladies, gentlemen, and classmates, please welcome Caitlin Borschelt.
Hi, guys. On January 20th, 2006, the cinematic masterpiece famously known as High School Musical first aired on Disney Channel. At that time, I was only 3 years old, so if we skip forward a few years, probably 2008, I would have been one of many young children who sat and listened to the voices of Gabriela Montez and Troy Bolton serenade me in the confines of my small family room. Yeah, those were the times. As a bright-eyed 6-year-old and onward, I would watch those movies and be ecstatic for high school, minus the conniving schemes of a Sharpay Evans, washed in bright saturation filters and delightful romance. So I'd like to say thank you, Disney, for the entirely unrealistic expectations you instilled in me. I was fully expecting flash mobs at lunch and to be wooed by a misunderstood basketball heartthrob, but apparently we can't have everything. No, the songs in High School Musical didn't expand upon the epic highs and lows of freshman biology, nor did they provide a nice tearjerker ballad for the scarring time known as AP exam season. In reality, high school was a time of awkward growth, in which fashion trends flew by faster than Kobe Millage on his mile run. And relationships were so confusing, especially when large friend groups would practically just trade partners like it was fantasy football or something. Not that I know how that even works. But there were positives to high school, I'm not gonna lie. From Friday night football games in which we'd shout the most respectful of chants to the opposing team in their student section, to walking towards the biomed dance party before even seeing them, to semi-formal and even prom, where it took about a solid 30 minutes before anyone even thought to dance, and still having about half the people look at you weird when you get a little too into doing the Cupid shuffle. So you see, high school definitely had its moments, and while it wasn't all bad, there were definitely parts to it that I will not miss. For instance, when the fear of God is instilled within you when you forgot your pre-lab on lab day for a certain honors chem class. Or the awkward silence when a teacher would ask us a question over Zoom and absolutely no one knew the answer, or chose to answer. Or how about when finals roll around and every teacher gave a speech about how we should have been studying a month in advance, knowing personally I wouldn't get to it till about 2 days before the exam. My time at Snider was a mosaic of good and bad, a nice mixture of traumatizing and funny anecdotes that I like to say added for good character development in the plot of my life. But in reflecting on my past, I have come to the conclusion that there are certain lessons I've learned along the way as a valedictorian that I'd like to share with you guys. Not that you even asked for it. Beginning of freshman year, I never really cared for the title of valedictorian. All I knew was that I wanted to do my best in school and at least be in top 10 since middle school tradition dies hard. 9th grade was a time of personal growth, where the workload was definitely larger than in middle school, but it was at least manageable. I still cried a lot, and if any of you saw me during that time, no, you didn't. So my first year went on, and then came scheduling for sophomore year, and that was when I found out that I was ranked first in the class. At the time, tiny freshman Caitlin was ecstatic but also terrified. I knew once I set a certain expectation for myself, it would become increasingly harder to diverge from such expectations. It was at this point that I think my intrinsic desire to learn transformed into an extrinsic motivation to maintain such a status. So I worked for it, and by golly, I got it. But along the way, I managed to let a part of myself go each year I spent worrying and stressing and working to the point of exhaustion. I feel like a lot of the time, people around me assume that I am where I am because learning just comes easier, or that I'm just naturally inclined to memorize everything at a moment's notice. But more times than not, I turned to unhealthy habits of studying and getting my work done. I procrastinated frequently because I instituted this intense pressure and standard on myself to turn in the best work, but didn't start anything in fear that I would start the next failure. I became isolated and despondent. I wouldn't let myself sleep until my work was done because I thought that I didn't deserve a break if things weren't completed. More times than not, I fell asleep at the kitchen table, then migrated to the couch at 4 a.m. because I knew if I went to my bed, I wouldn't be able to get up in the morning. I'd arrive at school sleep deprived, but I convinced myself it was worth it when I'd get that A+ in the grade book. I couldn't mess up in school because I felt like one small grade would lead to a domino effect of shortcomings that would prevent me from getting into a good school with little debt. But this reasoning is undoubtedly flawed. And the thing is, no one exerted this pressure on me. My parents never forced me to uphold this idea of perfection. My teachers and mentors never pressured me to do it either. In fact, almost everyone around me begged me to ease up a little. You see, in striving for greatness, I got lost in translation along the way of how to obtain it in a healthy manner, and it was incredibly hard for me to try and escape such a mindset. And if I'm being honest, I'm still trying to escape that mindset. I got stuck focusing on my previous accomplishments and continuously set the same standard for myself, despite not even being on the same playing field. My focus on all things past was what inhibited me from enjoying my present and being excited about my future. And my 6-year-old self would have definitely been terrified if she watched High School Musical, Caitlin's version, complete with Sad Girl Hours playlist, Dunkin' coffee addiction, and many late-night breakdowns. It's easy to get stuck in these expectations, whether it be set by Disney Channel original movies or previous accomplishments. And I find that these ideas that we instill as being the standard for greatness, success, and excellence don't paint a clear picture of reality. So while I'm honored to stand here today as valedictorian after working tirelessly these past 4 years, I'm still graduating just like everyone else in this room. And I don't know if I can tell you whether my experience in high school was significantly enriched for doing so much. But I can tell you to enjoy the moments as they come, anticipate the memories not yet born, but don't look towards the past as if it sets a standard for your future. You all make up an incredible group of individuals who are all born with a purpose, whether or not you would like to believe it. So don't waste your time dwelling in your disasters or ruminating over the minuscule things that won't even matter in 10 years. One failed test, one broken relationship, one high school GPA is not a determining factor of your character, nor is it cause for the dismantling of your dreams. You are more than the hardships of life, more than the negativity of past haters, and more than the expectations of people who are irrelevant on your journey to success. Before I conclude, I would also like to thank the following people or groups of people. Thank you to the Snider staff and teachers, Mr. Hisong, and everyone working here today to make this graduation possible. I'd like to thank Mom and Dad for never pressuring me to be perfect, but still supporting me even when I try to academically. Thank you to the rest of my family for supporting me, whether it be study sessions during family barbecues to late night soccer games. I'd like to thank the teachers, especially Mr. Mattson, Ms. Kaiser, and Mrs. Hanley for providing me with a great support system the past 3 years and always encouraging and believing in me despite my many, many breakdowns. I'd like to thank the Core 4, Audrey, Josie, and Zoe for providing me with so many fun memories as well as partners during soccer drills. To my school friends who I got to know more throughout from this year's lunch crew to many more, you made coming to school not just bearable, but even fun, and I wouldn't have made it this far without your companionship. And to Grandma Borschelt, I know you aren't with me anymore, but I love you, and I hope I made you proud. Thank you all.
We are now preparing for the presentation of the diplomas. Once again, the class of 2021 requests that you please hold your applause until all of the seniors' names have been read. The graduates sitting before you have worked diligently the last 13 years to be able to savor this moment. Please allow this moment to be about them, as outbursts of any kind will only draw attention away from them and onto you, and will insult the dignity of their moment. After all of the members of the class of 2021 have been announced and received a diploma, we welcome your applause and your appreciation of their efforts. At this time, we'll present the 55th graduating class of Snider High School, the class of 2021, their diplomas.
Caitlin Borchelt. Emerson Corbin. Jennifer Liu. Victor Song. Jaisal Mehta. Peyton Bittner. Zachary Kiner. Abigail Mayhew. Faith Allison. Josie Butler. Thomas Adams. Eladora Alcantar. Gabriela Alejo. Armando Alexander. Vincent Alphonse. Ayman Al-Sharay. Walter Alvarenga. Kennedy Amos. Trey Anderson. Isaac Andrews. Olawashe Aniko. Aubrey Ankenbrook. Morgan Ashleman. Su Miat Ung. Cole Beatty. Gavin Bear. Jonathan Bahena. Ariana Barnhart. Scarlett Bebout. Natalie Becker. Emma Bedwell. Kara Berry. Ilana Bingley. Andrew Birch. Courtney Black. Kamaya Boone. Nakai Boone. Charlotte Borton. Georgios Boulahanas. Sarah Boylan. Catherine Brown. Anaya Bright. Tristan Brooks. Grace Brown. Lucy Brown. Alexa Brummett. Devonna Bryant. Devonte Bryant. Clayton Buell. Emma Boozman. Michael Calderon. Alicia Campos. Sanaya Carr. Daniela Carrillo. Jesus Carrillo. Jennifer Carrizales. Cameron Chandler. Juan Chipres. Jovan Church. Kaya Claire. Michaela Clark. Drayden Yancey. Ella Clark. Hayden Clausen. Madison Clegg. Mine Cole. Travis Coleman. Darius Colon. Cameron Conley. Caleb Conrad. Ethan Corbin. Alex Cottrell. Owen Counterman. Dylon Craig. Marissa Crosdale. Rylan Crowder. Carolina Cruz. Siani Curry. Andrew Dane. Madison Daring. Patrick Dada. Tiana Davis. Gabriel Dean. Jamiante Derrick. Michaela Dial. Nyasia Diaz. Stephanie Diaz. Christina Ditzenberger. Emily Doctor. Tavarius Easley Jones. Madison Edmond. Damon Ellis. Caden Espy. Jacob Evans. Darius Fanroy. Ethan Ferry. Jason Field. Shanice Fields. Soraya Fincher. Caitlin Fisher. Dejan Fitzgerald. Michaela Fleur. Brittany Ford. Trinity Forish. Austin Frank. Monique Franklin. Josie Frederick. Sienna Freeman. Kaylee Fryback. Nathaniel Fuhrer. Jaden Gage. Alexandra Galassini. Evan Garcia. Roberto Garcia. Tanaya Garrett. Ryan Geringer. Deasia Geiger. Blake George. Kirsten Galashevsky. Broderick Golden. Elisa Gomez. Madeline Gonzalez. Dominic Gonzalez. Mallory Gottfried. Caroline Goff. Ross Graber. August Grube. Marco Guzman. Natalie Hacker. Gabriel Hahn, Braden Hale, Devin Hamilton, Nue He Vong, Caleb Haney, Sydney Harmon, Annabelle Harper, Kiesia Harris, Zaire Hayes, Emma Hedrick, John Michael Heggie, Frederick Henderson, Julian Hernandez, Brooklyn Hill, Reese Holbrook, Austin Hollinsworth, Ashanti Howard, Kanaya Howard, Micah Hubley, Kobe Humbarger, Noah Hunden, Christopher Hurley, Trenton Hurst, Sarah Erie, Kaylee Inthemat, Destiny Jackson, Zuri Jackson, Elysia James, Kevin Jett, Aja Johnson, Ajada Johnson, Jade Johnson, Kalina Johnson, Riley Johnson, Aaliyah Jones, Riley Jones, Joanna Juarez, Aliza Justice Moniz, Tyler Kaiser, Katerina Kaplanis, Naira Casey, Jaron Keith, Isabel Kennedy, Coop Kim, Hunter Kimmerly, Minasia King, Jacob Kreger, Nian Chaw, Bay La. William Lambert. Royce LaRoche. Christy Lay. Justice Lakorchik. Isabel Lehman. Jade Lehman. Kenyatta Lewis. Sarah Leakty. Mariah Linville. Constance Lloyd. Simon Lombari. Isai Lopez Salazar. Nicole Luckett. Gabriel Ludwiski. Sarah Lutz. William Machieski. Sebastian Magana. Rasoy Mahar. Mylan Manshak. McKenna Markowski. Alexandra Marks. Kanea Martin. Zaira Martin. Gabriel Mason. Dylan Mast. L. Mong. Dakota Maynard. Jayla McClanahan. Kyle McCleary. Zia McClendon. Emily McCoy. Caden McHouston. Jonathan McCullough. Kamari McDavid. Cameron McDavid. Phoenix McDowell. Dakota McGiffin. Trevor McKinnon. Brielle Mendez. Abimael Mendez Rios. Jaime Mendoza. Kobe Millage. Mariah Millage. Stacy Miller. Taylor Miller. Emily Miser. Ashana Montgomery. Jade Moore. Natalia Moore. Samuel Moore. Dara Morales. Devontae Morgan. Jacob Morrow. Emily Mosier. Dorian Mount. Zoe Mossberg. Dorian Mount. Joel Morillo. Cameron Miles. Michael Nestor. Brody Nichols. Isabel Nicholas. Angelina Nino. Orlando Nino. Nevaeh Niver. Stephen Naj Oriana. Man Nai Newham. Exotica Ochoa. Antavia Oki. Lee Olivares. Diana Overman. Lene Palmer. Lindsay Pancook. Corey Patiri. Aaliyah Patterson. A. Paul. Adolfo Paz. Chase Peak. Efren Perez. Angela Perez Collin. Caleb Perry. Charlie Peterson. Lanaya Finnessy. Shelby Price. Callie Prohaska. Kara Prowse. Aaron Puzello. Madeline Quinn. Bruno Ramos Valencia. Christian Ramos. Austin Reesner. Shamara Reddick. Brendan Redman. Lucas Redman. Aiden Reinders. Madison Reckaway. Jose Reyes Gillen. Garrett Rhodes. Ariana Rice. Aaron Rickoff. Alan Rickoff. Trent Ryder. Blake Ridge. Alexis Roberts. Aaron Robinson. Chase Rodewald. Elise Rogers. Emma Rohrbacher. Luke Rolling. Annalise Rosales. Isaiah Rothgeb. Alyssa Rowe. Tristan Runyon. Ronald Russell. Hector Salamanca. Sylvia Salamanca. Edwin Saldivar. Abdermain Saleh. Reagan Sample. Emily Sanchez Garcia. Exante Sanders. Mang Sang. Pao Mong Song. Grace Saunders. Hege Say. Mercedes Schrader. Michaela Schuckman. Zachary Schwalm. Sydney Scully. Brian Shaw. Riakis Shelton. Rihanna Shelton. Kathy Schock. Lenora Shores. Julius Sims. Thomas Skembos. Emily Skyver. Zoe Skyver. Julian Slater. Adeline Smith. Audrey Smith. Avery Smith. Damian Smith. Donovan Smith. Preston Smith. Leah Snider. Teresa So. Jill Soloway. Mackay Spencer. Jonathan Spooler. Alexis Stacy. Nakaya Stanford. Casey Stevens. Tessa Stoip. Maya Stover. Ariana Strother. John Suggs. Isabella Sunday. Darren Swanson. Leah Swihart. Ariana Swapshire. Jonathan Tagle. Grady Tarney. Jessica Tarr. Carmen Tate. Alexander Taylor. Brett Taylor. Hope Teitzel. Keontae Thomas. Reese Thomas. Jalen Thompson. La Bonita Thornton. Sierra Tillotson. Mia Torres Braish. Austin Trin. William Trostel. Samuel Trowbridge. Brianna Ulowitz. Mackenzie Vaughn. Blake Vervinkt. Andres Villafana. Jorge Villalobos. Matthew Brian Wade. Vincent Walker. Jessica Walters. Thomas Ward. Hannah Ware. Kenneth Ware. Akea West. Benjamin Whitehill. Annika Webrink. Amir Williams. Jonna Williams. Carter Wilson. Michael Wilson. Zoe Wilson. Nevaeh Wilson Brown. Bree Winfrey. Philip Winters. Raymond Wolf. Ella Wood. Jacob Wunderlich. Jonah Ibarra. Ashne York. Julian Young. Spencer Young. Hartman.
I should
You're
yell
closing
it.
the show. You're going to yell it. You're going to close this show out.
You got this.
Class of 2021, please stand.
Wait for him to call again.
One of our last acts together as the class of 2021 is to move our tassels from the right to left, signifying that we are graduates of R. Nelson Snider High School and therefore alumni.
Join us as we move our tassels from right to left. Congratulations, graduates, we did it.
Good job, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the 55th graduating class of R. Nelson Snider High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021, congratulations. Row leaders can go.